Are you perplexed by your child's behavior? Do you not understand what the heck they're doing? Well, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Roseann, and this is the first in my Behavior Decoded series because guess what? Parents are struggling not only to understand why their kids do what they do, but what the heck to do about it. So, this is really about understanding the secret messages behind your kids' behavior. So, let's dive in. So, how do we decode our kids' behaviors? Well, behavior is the language of kids. And, sometimes we scratch our heads, sometimes we're irritated, sometimes we're frankly pissed off by some of our kids' behaviors or even embarrassed. But the first part of understanding your kids' behavior is actually to pull yourself back, not be so irritated. That's not easy. As Tony would say, it's easy with the mouth. And we have to first put that oxygen mask on, really kind of take some deep breaths, do whatever you got to do a little prayer to whoever you're going to pray to get some inner strength, some patience, which is not my number one thing that I have. But really, you have to be a behavior detective. That is the first part, of course, other than calming your brain down. And we have to actually pull back and take that, what I always say, that 360 aerial view and say, like, why is this happening? What is going on? Because I can promise you, 9 times out of 10, your kid isn't doing this on purpose. And maybe you're coming to that realization, and that's why you're listening to this episode. And hopefully you're going to listen to the whole series because we're going to dive into some of the most common things that people ask me about, video game and device addiction, swearing, anger, your kid's not doing their homework. I mean, these are the kinds of things that people write to me about that pretty much every time I meet with one of our parents in our one-to-one brain behavior reset program, one or more of these come up. Picky eating in there too. I can't forget about that. So we have to take a look. What could be contributors, right? What does their behavior actually mean? Are they trying to tell you something in their behavior? Even though it doesn't seem that behavior is related to what's actually behind it, I promise you, that's why people wind up coming to me. There's always a connection. Kids don't just act this way, right? Whether it's any of those things we're talking about or, WWE smackdown with the sibling or smacking the dog or any of these kinds of things, we have to really put our detective hat on and really understand what could be some of those possibilities. And guess what? We have to look at what we are doing and how we possibly could be contributing, right? And in addition to that, with a minimum of 50% of the children in the United States having a physical or a mental health issue, right? And that's old data. That's more than that's 13-year-old data. So we know it's a lot more than that. Neurodivergence, including adults, is about 25% of the US population. And, anxiety is now our number one mental health issue with ADD right behind it. So kids have stuff that interfere with how they control their impulses, I think is a big, big thing that we're seeing as parents, right? I have an impulsive kid who reacts much less than he used to. He's learned. And before now, he can stop and put his brakes on and think about it. But boy, is a whole lot of work. And boy, were there some embarrassing and annoying and frustrating times. But there are many reasons why. So that impulse control can be a part of it. Really not understanding what they have to do. And think it's always surprising to parents. They always think, wow, they watch me do this. He's 7 and his 3-year-old, sister can do it, right? Well, everyone comes with such a unique brain print, right? Neurodivergence is about having a unique brain. We're always trying to put neurodivergence in the box, and that's not where we want them because there's some pretty cool parts about being neurodivergent. And, there's a lot of controversy in the neurodivergent community. And I get a lot of flack too, where sometimes people say, trying to correct a brain. No, 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 no. Things like neurofeedback, PMF, breath work, this is for every brain. Why wouldn't we make any brain be better? And somehow medication is okay, even though for me, that's medically constraining people, right? And it comes with such dangerous side effects that I see all the time that everyone thinks isn't common, but they are. But it's really about enhancing assets. When we use these tools, right, we want to enhance what's there. Whether you're a neurotypical brain, let me know who you are, because I don't know too many of those. Um, or you're a neurodivergent, or you're struggling with, anxiety, depression, OCD. We want to calm and regulate that nervous system so that our brains and bodies can work at optimal levels. And so when we're thinking about behavior, we can't leave anything off the table, but yet we always go back to our kids are doing this on purpose. And I've done this whole series because I want you to really, number one, start thinking differently. There's going to be a lot of aha moments, but I also really want you to be empowered. Everything I do is about empowerment. A pill is not going to fix behavior. It is not. Okay. Maybe there is some pill that's helping your kid. Okay, that's fine. But how are you teaching them the behavior changes? How are you teaching them coping skills and problem solving? This is what parents are supposed to do. Kids don't just magically learn these things. Yeah. Okay. Every once in a while, you get a kid. I got one basically could be raised by wolves and he probably turned out pretty good. Right. Yes, there are some kids that are more regulated, so they learn easier. Right. But guess what? You and I, we got kids that are dysregulated, whether it's understimulation or overstimulation. They're just not absorbing. So we're going to dive into in this Behavior Decoded series, we're going to dive into the most common behaviors you see. These are going to be short episodes. Get your pen and paper, replay them, play them to your partner, your spouse, your mother, the grandfather, the grandmother. Give it to the teacher, share it with a friend, because again, this is about empowerment. And parents, you don't have to live in an overwhelmed and stuck state. You can learn how to deal with these behaviors. So I want you to really start thinking about, your kids' behavior. What's getting in the way of them understanding what you need from them, and start really putting on that detective hat. Now, I have created the self-regulation mastery blueprint in the Calm Brain community. You go to drroseann.com, self-reg mastery. That's self and then REG mastery, all one word. And this is really my gift to all the families I work with who, in any capacity, whether you're listening to the show or you're watching me on YouTube or you have come to work with me, because not everybody can come to work with me. And I only work with just a tiny, tiny amount of people every month. It's less and less and less as the years go on. And so I have poured into this community every single thing that I have done in 30 years. When you work with me one-on-one, in 1 hour, you sit down with me and you get 33 years of experience. Okay. That is why people, hop on a plane, do all these things, because I know what I'm doing and I know what works and I've tested it on thousands of kids. And that is what is in this self-regulation mastery blueprint. It's super easy, digestible, quick, actionable videos and downloads infused with AI that you can just type in a question and it's going to get you that answer. You don't have to watch 100 videos. You can if you want, but it's going to literally pull up to the second with, if you're looking for sensory support, boom, put in sensory, and that all those videos, all those resources are going to come up. But I have taken every darn effective science-backed tool and method. Not a health coach, guys. I am a licensed professional. I'm a therapist. I'm not your therapist, but I've taken all these techniques. Stop following health coaches. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They've had no clinical experience. I'm not saying they can't have an area, a finite area of expertise expertise, but they have not done the education and training to get you to a place where you're moving the dial. And in this community, it has all those things and they've been tested by other people. So get excited, learn more about my self regulation mastery blueprint. And if you're not ready, you can always go to drroseann.com/group and you can join our free Facebook group. So get excited for this series. Give me feedback. I'd love to know how this is changing your life.